for someone who is new to the stock market and say they grew up like you, where their family was on food stamps, so they're, forget, being able to invest and own in a business and, even start their own business, that kind of thing. For them, maybe just having a long-term job or a career as an employee would be something that would be kind of new to them. So for you to even go from that position, where from a food stamp family to where now, you got multiple houses, you have your own team of people running your stock group for you. I mean, you've started several businesses now. I mean, how does that switch take place from the mentality of poverty and lack to the mentality of abundance and the mentality of, there's plenty of wealth in the world?
Well, it started because obviously in my early childhood, we were definitely very, very poor. But then something switched. As I was starting to grow up, my dad started a small pool business of his own, and he broke out on his own. And he actually built that to a place where when I was about to go to middle school or so, we were actually able to move out of the neighborhood we were living in and actually move to like a middle class neighborhood, which, by the way, when you go from poverty to middle class, you think you're rich. Even there, you realize, like, nowadays I look back and I'm like, oh, we moved into the middle class. That was cool. But yeah, seeing him start that business, he never expanded it. He never hired employees or anything like that. But just seeing that he made them move from that, where he was trying to work at used cars dealerships and all these different things that we were just, in the poverty cycle, to then starting his own business, making a success of that, to actually be able to pull us out of that and take us to the middle class. That's why I always understood from that perspective, like, this is how it's done. And something I've just been fortunate enough to be able to do and understand how to do is like taking things to the next level. So, breaking out into entrepreneurship and understanding like being able to hire employees and actually building a company with like, independent contractors and employees and all these sorts of things. But yeah, I think that was a big moment. And I was always involved in my dad's business as a kid. As soon as school basically ended, I went to work with him every day in the summer, and it was hot. It was like 110 every day. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. But it taught me a lot of good lessons around hard work and around owning a business. And where he did business, where most of his pool accounts were in retirement community.
Right.
And what I got to see there is I got to see like people that were like how did these people get here? And what I found is a majority of them had some sort of money invested in the stock market. And I think seeing that kind of also sparked something in my brain, like, these people are doing something in regards to stock market. Maybe someday I'm going to look into that. And then when I turned 18, 19, that's when I really started diving into stock market investing and started taking it serious.
Geez, so really, I mean, your father showed you that there was another lifestyle, that there was, another way.
Yeah.
And then basically, you were young, the seed was planted, and you were off and running.
Yeah. I mean, literally seeing that and seeing him get his business to a place where he was making $80K a year, coming from where we were at the time to see it build his business to maybe making $80K or so a year was huge, in my mind. And it was always something that stuck with me, just getting to see like how that transpired and how that happened.